Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy, Ernest Dove, New York Mets Dove Report. Let's talk some actual major leaguers of sorts with the young Mets and, of course, the pending debut of Nolan McLean. So I want to talk about him. I want to give some insight, talk about some of the history of him since he was drafted with some coach talk, things that was told to me by staff since he came around, what might be getting hot, maybe the reason why him over Sproat. And then I want to get into some of the information, what's going on here with Mauricio and Vientos, something I've been saying for pretty much 2 years now, and it's now coming to fruition just like I knew. But let's get things started right now with the debut pending of Nolan McLean. This is something I've been waiting on now for a little bit, not that long, because I thought it was going to be a long process with Nolan McLean, okay? Since the summer after he was drafted towards the end of the year, I started asking around, started talking to one of the minor league coaches, even some of the staff. Some of the things I was hearing initially was they didn't think the bat was going to play. They were waiting it out to see when they were going to pull the plug on that. That was what I was being told. But even with him being mixed in, making Nolan McLean a starter, having him eat the innings to throw a lot of pitches, I don't think the Mets organization were necessarily thinking of him as a future starter. They just wanted him to transition into it to start pro ball. That's what I was being told initially. And then by the end of that first year of his debut season after the draft, even into the winter and the offseason, talking with one of the coaches, that's when I was told something I've been saying now on social media. The coach told me specifically, quote, word for word, buy stock in Nolan McLean. He thought he was going to be absolutely the real deal. And it was at that point after the season, winter ball, spring, it was a coach, not even the Mets organization or staff, now more on the coaching side. They said that we see him now, I see him personally as a starter going forward, and they thought he could be absolutely sky is the limit type of situation. So that kind of sounded like the coach, even beyond the front office and everyone else, he thought that he believed in him as even a frontline starter. And here's where we are, by the way. As far as Nolan McLean now, I want to start to get into some of the numbers. McLean, in some of his brief moments now, going month to month, AA and AAA, in the month of June, 170 opponent batting average in June. It looks like the walks were a smidge higher in June than in May, but the K rate was lowering a bit in June. Come July, the walk rate got a little bit better, and the K rate spiked for Nolan McLean in July. And then now comes August, nobody's hitting him. I believe he's made 2 appearances in August in AAA. No one's hitting him. But the thing is, the walks have been up too. So I'm curious to see what the Mets want to do here. Here we go again with a guy with possible command issues based on the inning, the outing, whatever it is. The other things about Nolan McLean, everyone talks about the splits, lefty versus righty. For the year, looks like lefties are hitting about 232 against him. Righties hitting 153. 153. Righties can't hit him. And I'm assuming or guessing a lot of that has to do with his wiffle ball, the slider. Even checking fan graphs, now they're trying to check and try to show off what he's been throwing specifically, pitch type at the AAA level. That's where the metrics kick in for sites like Fangraphs. They actually have Nolan McLean throwing up to 6 pitches. And so far in his brief AAA stints, it looks like they actually have McLean throwing more sliders than anything, even more higher percentage of sliders than even his fastball at this point, to go with some of the other things that I think are Mets organization type stuff since last year. All of a sudden, everybody throws a cutter now in the Mets organization and a sinker. I know a lot of minor leaguers now at this point, they've gone to the cutter in the last 2 years, and they've also gone to more of a sinker. Some of the stuff the Mets might be working on with their own analytics now for the last year or two, to go along with the slider, of course, and a curveball and a change that he mixes in. But I want to see some of the other stuff. The ground ball rate is okay. The ground ball rate is over 50%. And I believe last year it was even higher. It was almost 58% ground ball rate for Nolan McLean, more at the AA level, even this year. So semi-drop in AAA, again, very brief. This is all extreme small sample size of sorts, still low. The ground ball rate is still over 50%, somewhere about 53% ground ball rate against him. It looks like in AAA, little bit, they're trying to maybe hitting a little bit more line drives, A little bit more pulling. It looks like some of the more advanced hitters are pulling more against Nolan McLean, maybe trying what they can to hit. But overall, everything looks really good for Nolan McLean because he's going to have swing and miss stuff. Is it going to happen on Saturday against the Mariners? We're going to find out. But I think it's important to say the organization believes in Nolan McLean. The staff believe in him as a frontline starter. Even a few weeks back, a month ago, talking again back to the other Mets sources within the organization, the executives, everything else. Now, all of a sudden, they're saying now it's just a matter of time. So now it went from other things a year or two ago. Then it became a month ago. It was like maybe not ready yet, but it's probably happening soon about the call up. Pretty interesting that he gets the nod over a Brandon Sproat. Again, technically as a senior sign, you saw him as the guy that would probably come up first. I definitely kind of figured or guessed that a Blade Tidwell was going to debut before the three of them based on his experience prior in AAA. But now that he's gone, a guy like Sproat, he's still been a little up and down of sorts. He had a very, very good hot streak recently, which is why people have wanted him up too, including right now. But I've been saying for weeks, and even about 2 months ago, the stuff they were working on with Brandon Sproat, it was still longer of a process. They wanted him to more perfect some of the pitches, a certain grip. I believe it was the two-seamer. Some of the stuff they were working on to more perfect for Brandon Sproat as well. Maybe in their minds / computers, they felt like it wasn't ready just yet. So it's about Nolan McLean first and foremost. I think he can do okay. There's no point in me giving predictions or projections. I think he's going to throw the wiffle ball. Let's see how often the major league hitters are going to swing at it and offer at it. Because even when you see it on videos in the minors, people are flailing at it as it dips out of the zone at the end. Let's see how the major leaguers can spit on it. We're going to find out. From the hitting perspective, this needs to be mentioned because I swear I've been talking about it for at least last year into this year. When you have these younger bats, if you're not playing them every day, they really shouldn't be here. And especially for the Mets organization, you see how they're taxi squad leveling everyone with the arms every single day until recently, or right up until the deadline when they have 3 veterans that can't be optioned. Some of the stuff going on, they probably should have been doing it with the bats. And here we are again now. In the lineup, Ronny Mauricio shows up. What's been going on with Mauricio? Well, the last time in August, or recently now for the month, when Mauricio actually played like 3 games in a row, by the 3rd game, he went 2 for 4. Then he has 4 days off. Then he gets into a game and goes 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. This is what's going to happen. This guy, Ronny Mauricio, does not have the type of hit tool to be a bench player. I was saying it last year. I'll say it again this year. He doesn't have that type of stuff to be a bench player. He can't play every 2-3 games, especially with his power potential, especially as a switch hitter. You got to get him those 4 at-bats a game, and you take it or leave it, especially when his defense overall has been pretty solid, especially with definitely a strong enough arm to even play third. As far as instincts, foot speed, everything else, middle infield, I think second base still, he's a big, huge human being, but he can still handle it good enough. But either way, he really shouldn't even be here. That's my opinion. If you're not going to play Ronny Mauricio every day, have one of the veteran guys and give him a 40-man spot. I don't know. Figure it out. The other guy, again, here we go, Mark Vientos. From what I remember in July, Mark Vientos had a 9-game hitting streak. Come August, I think he went a horrible 2 for 16. That's terrible in August. Guess what? In that 4-game stretch, I think 4 or 5 games, 2 for 16, 3 strikeouts out of the 16 at-bats. I don't want to sit here and do the whole thing, make the joke about the batted on balls and play gods, but only 3 Ks in 16. We were seeing on television he was making some hard contact. Now all of a sudden he gets like a week off, and then he's going to show up again. Is he going to get a hit tonight? No idea. You're not playing these guys enough. They have this threesome now going on. They finally at least made one decision, the Mets. They went ahead and moved down Acuna. But now you got this 3-headed monster of guys who aren't playing together every day. They all need to be playing somewhere every single day. I think that's one of the problems going on right now, along with the Fab Four and the guys who aren't hitting in general either, or at least not consistently. When you then go to the bottom of the order with all the young guys not playing consistently every day, This is never going to work. I don't know how much longer they can continue to do this. At least they are playing Beatty every day. And guess what? Beatty keeps hitting, it seems like. Wow, what a shocker. A young player who plays every day is actually putting it together enough consistently, getting at least one hit here and there every game. Not going to be that simple, of course, for all three of them, but what do you know? That's some of my stuff and information for today. I want you guys to keep on a lookout for some things. I'm working on more interviews finally into next week. I was busy being on a boat, and then guys got promoted, but look at me for next week. I'm hoping to start up more player interviews. There could be a lot coming down the pipe at this point. I'm talking draft picks. I'm talking additional top 10, top 15 ranked Mets prospects. They're going to be on this show starting next week. Keep an eye on it. Support the channel, everybody. And hey, I don't know, let's go Mets at least for today, but I'll definitely be seeing everybody and talking to all of you on Saturday for Nolan McLean.